Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today, guys, we are joined by Dimitri from VeCHAIN to talk everything VET and the VeCHAIN for blockchain. Guys, as we get into this video, if you find it useful, informative, maybe even entertaining at times, hit that like button. We really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap that bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right. With all that said, done, and out of the way, let's jump on down and meet Dimitri. Hi and welcome to Cheeky Crypto. Let's kick things off, Dimitri, with what is blockchain and what is VeCHAIN for our viewers who might not know already.
Hello, thank you for the invitation, guys. It's a pleasure to be with you. We have talked also offline, and I'm fascinated about this today episode. So what is blockchain? Yeah, and this is a very nice question, because when I'm trying to describe what I'm doing for a living, and I'm saying I'm working for a blockchain startup, everybody's asking me, what is blockchain? And then I answer them with a question is, do you know what is Bitcoin? They tell me, yeah, we own Bitcoin, we own Ethereum, we own VeChain token. And then I tell them, okay, you own cryptocurrencies, but you don't know the underlying technology behind the cryptocurrencies. You just know the tip of the iceberg. And there is a whole infrastructure, which is the blockchain technology, which is the underlying technology of the cryptocurrencies. So when I'm trying to explain what is blockchain, I'm trying to avoid using the technical words, because I'm also not technical at all. I mean, my background is legal. Before joining VeChain, I used to be a lawyer. So when I'm trying to explain what is blockchain, as I said, I'm trying to use simple words, not saying smart contracts, different protocol levels, transaction speed, volatility, gas fees, etc., because nobody gets it. So I use the example that Sunny Lu, CEO of VeChain, said about what is blockchain through a specific scenario, the scenario of love, a boy that wants to say I love you to a girl in three different scenarios. And the first scenario is like, you want to say I love you to a girl, yeah? And you only say I love you to a girl by yourself, all alone with that girl. So that's a central system, because at any point you can lie about your statement, you can withdraw from that statement. And this is how central system works. Now, if you want to say I love you to a girl and you bring a friend as a witness, that can be defined as a central system with a backup. So at any moment that you want to lie about what you said, deny about what you said, you need also to convince your friend to do the same thing about you for your statement. And this is how the central system with a backup works. Now, the third variation of the scenario is you want to say I love you to a girl, and you say it to the girl, and multiple witnesses, they hear that statement, and you don't know these witnesses. And why is important? Because the moment you want to withdraw from that statement, lie about the statement, these witnesses will come and say, no, you have said this statement. And this is how blockchain works. This is how the importance about the blockchain is about the integrity, the immutability, the security of the data. It might be data transaction, might be money transaction, depending on the use case of the different blockchains and what they are trying to achieve. But in general, it's about the data itself. So this was blockchain in a very, very simplistic way. So about VeChain, a few words about VeChain. What is VeChain? We started building use cases back in 2015 for specific clients like BMW, Givenchy, and in the private Ethereum. Then in 2017, we realized that the real power of blockchain is on the public blockchain. So we migrated on the public blockchain of Ethereum. After a year of exploration, we realized that there are some bottlenecks on the public blockchain of Ethereum. And we also took the feedback of executives of Fortune 500 companies, asking them why you haven't started exploring the waters of blockchain, why you haven't started building a use case. And some of the feedback we got is, for example, Dimitris, how can I justify the use of crypto in my accounting department when I'm trying to send a data transaction? There is no framework. Or where is the what about the volatility of the transactions. Sometimes it is becoming too expensive to send transactions, data transactions, or there is no guarantee about the finality of the block. So we took this important feedback from those executives, and we start building tools in order to lower down the barrier of entry, to make it more mass adoption for enterprises and individuals to build on top of us. For example, we built the fee delegation that allows you to use the blockchain without touching the crypto, without getting exposed to the volatility of the crypto, without holding any crypto, because there is the smart contract that another party is paying on your behalf for these transactions. Or we have built the multi-clause transaction protocol, which means that you can batch different transactions all in one. So you don't need to send it one by one by one. So it makes it cheaper and more efficient to use the network. But what we have built, and we're very proud of it, is the VeCHAIN Toolchain. The VeCHAIN Toolchain is a SaaS solution that allows you to develop the solution that you want to build without even developing it. And most of our partners like DNV, PwC, are using the toolchain for all of their digital solutions when it comes to blockchain. And we're covering more than 20 industries, and we have more than 75 live projects right now running on the VeCHAIN blockchain through the VeCHAIN Toolchain.
Fantastic. Could you actually go into a little bit more detail on that VeCHAIN Toolchain and some of the things that it's able to kind of help businesses and enterprises with?
Yeah, so imagine, given this scenario I want to tell you is about most of the enterprises that they want to interact with blockchain, they need to be responsible for managing their own smart contract, building their smart contract, managing their crypto, and then on top of it, they need to manage also the processes that they build for the use case. So we are talking about 3 layers of development. So with Toolchain, the smart contracts, the use of crypto is taken care of on the back end of Toolchain. So only thing that you need to be responsible as a company or as an individual is to identify the process and to do the traditional coding. Or even if you don't want to do the coding, the Toolchain comes with specific templates from different industries that we have been building with our partners. And you can select different templates depending on the use case and adjust it to your needs. So it's literally drag and drop without touching the crypto, without touching the smart contract. I think I'm doing a demo use case every week myself. Not last week, 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, I did the first phygital, which means I have the physical item of the provenance information coming on the toolchain from the toolchain, and then I binded it with the NFT that is running again on VeCHAIN blockchain through a community project, which is known as 𝗕𝗪𝗪. It's a marketplace, so you can mint your NFT without even paying about it. And that is fascinating for me, because when I try to mint on Ethereum, because I'm using the Ethereum network with MetaMask, it's so expensive to buy, to collect, to transfer, to mint. So, and we're very proud in VeCHAIN to say that we are one of the most friendly to the environment, friendly to the enterprise, and friendly to the individual blockchains.
Perfect. And I guess what's next on the roadmap?
Well, on the roadmap, we have seen that we have launched the first part of the Proof of Authority 2.0, but other than the POA, we're enhancing our existing services, like the toolchain is becoming even more dynamic with bringing on the NFTs, connecting to the toolchain. Also, we have Antonio Sanatore joining from Deloitte, ex-CTO of Deloitte blockchain, global blockchain. And he has joined VeCHAIN in order to lead the Sustainable Development Goals projects. And I think we're going to see very big projects about this, because as VeCHAIN, when we started, was creating valuable transactions. What is more valuable than preserving our planet, protecting our planet, making it make our people more aware about the planet and having a social responsibility towards the planet, the society, and in general the world. So we're going to see, I think, in the next year, some very interesting projects. We already have projects when it comes to the to sustainability, like the RECEIVE project and the ocean cleanup from DNV. And we're very proud to see other projects coming up in a more also circular way. So rewarding the people that are doing, that have a good behavior towards the environment, and rewarding also the companies that they are willing to be stakeholders in this ecosystem we're creating. So VeCHAIN, and I want to emphasize that it's not just for supply chain. I know that the most use cases are coming on the supply chain, and this is mainly because our partners, our big partners like DNV and PwC, they started from the supply chain, but we are a smart contract platform. So you can build anything you're building on Ethereum, but much cheaper and also more friendly to the environment.
I was just going to say that that's a very good point around it not just being supply chain, because obviously, you know, you've got there's a DEX recently, isn't there? You've got all the NFTs and everything that's happening. So yeah, it's much more than just supply chain for sure.
I was actually just going to circle back for a second, because obviously, as you say, you know, it's a smart contract platform. It can be built for anything. But obviously, one of the major components, at least from my point of view, is obviously that VeCHAIN toolchain, right? Because that basically makes the implementation so much more efficient. Can you talk about some of the examples of where maybe using the VeCHAIN toolchain, you've seen implementation of the technology in a more efficient way?
Well, I'm going to use an example of Walmart China. Walmart China was built along with PwC in China. And the use case is very interesting because it's a B2B2C solution. But why toolchain was important is because our competitors, they tried to build similar solution, and it took them around, I think, 14 months to build just a pilot. And it took us literally 6 months to have a use case, an end product that is viable and scalable. Because now Walmart is expanding in all of their products when it comes to supply chain. And the use case of the Walmart, just for reference, there is a live monitoring amongst the supplier to the Walmart supermarket. So Walmart supermarket can monitor the logistics, the life cycle management of the product from the supplier to their shelf. And then the end user, which is a consumer, client of Walmart, goes and buys from the shelf, can scan the QR code and find all the information that is important about that product. For example, the temperature, who is the supplier, in which condition it was produced, is it ethical production, information that is becoming very important now for the consumer. And I'm not saying that only because I'm working for VeCHAIN and I understand the value of it, but I'm also, as a consumer, for example, my mother, she loves organic food. Yeah, and she pays overpriced organic food. And then I ask her, how do you know what you're buying is organic? Because it has a stamp, and that stamp is centralized. Well, where is the element of auditing there? Where is the element of decentralization? How can you trust that? So we can see that the consumer, especially the young generation, are becoming more demanding about understanding what they're buying, and they're willing to pay higher if they are satisfied with the information that they see from the supplier. Another use case that also is important for toolchain is the 𝗦𝗖𝗔𝗡𝗏, developed by DNV. The 𝗦𝗖𝗔𝗡 by DNV is very important because it started from wines and now has been expanded also to other industries. So with H&M and Coastline in the sustainability, in olive oil, in tomato. So it's expanding. So it's the 𝗦𝗖𝗔𝗡𝗏 is like a brand for DNV. And why it's important is because it's revolutionizing the idea of what is a product. Because when you buy a bottle of wine now, it's not just a bottle of wine. There is a whole story from the genesis part of the making of the wine up to the bottling and distribution. And on top of it, you have the third-party auditing service by DNV auditing the information from the supplier before it reaches on the blockchain. So if the blockchain is, we can say that is a single source of truth, imagine the information that is audited before it reaches the single source of truth. Because anyone can write on the blockchain, right? So anyone can say anything they want. So that information, it is audited. And that makes it more transparent, more trustworthy for the consumer. I cannot say 100%, nobody can guarantee that, but at least it is more transparent, it's more trustworthy. And it's very agile, the toolchain, because I said, my story has developed from the wine, goes to the sustainability of the H&M, coastline about used clothes, creating new garments. And when you scan the QR code, you can see the information, how it was produced, about the collection of the clothes, etc., etc. So and that is because the toolchain mechanics are unique, are very easy to use and manipulate in the processes depending on the different industry. And of course, the strategic partners I mentioned, DNV and PwC, they have their expertise, understanding also the traditional industry and what is needed. So the technology is brilliant. What we are giving to our partners is brilliant, but also our partners are brilliant because they're bringing their expertise on the table. And another use case about toolchain that is, I'm very, how to say that now, I was very involved in that project. It's in Cyprus about the healthcare, about 2 hospitals, because our competitors that they're running on a private blockchain, it took them 24 months to build a pilot. Our strategic partner in Cyprus, it took them only 6 months to have not 1 but 2 hospitals running full speed. And it's about the ownership of the medical records. So when a doctor, a medical practitioner wants to access your medical record, other than the case of emergency, for example, they need to ask your permission. And this permission, it can be granted or denied. And it is then underpinned on the blockchain. This relationship of requesting, accepting or denying, it is underpinned on the blockchain in the form of NFT. So we heard about NFTs, but also there is enterprise NFTs. San Marino, for example, again, use toolchain for the green certificate. San Marino is in the heart of Europe, but not part of the European Union. So how could they return back to normalcy with the green certificates? So apart the gateway that was given to from the European Union, there's also the different use cases in the state of San Marino that were built around the toolchain for the green passport certificate that creates 2 QR codes. One is the QR code for the European Union, and the other one is the universal. So if I travel from San Marino to USA, they can scan my QR code and they can be sure that the vaccination certificate it is authentic because it has been audited by DNV, and it's also has been hashed on the blockchain. So you don't need to rely on central system. You don't need to rely on native apps to scan the QR code, because the blockchain is a reference point. It's a single source of truth. So all are built on toolchain, so you can see how you can adjust in the different needs, different industries.
Definitely value add, isn't it, for sure?
Yeah, and what I was going to say is obviously it dovetails into a word that came up a couple of times whilst you were talking, which was authentication. Obviously, being able to authenticate things on the blockchain, specifically talking about items from just like temperature controlled and logistics and supply chain, but also being able to verify that it's actually a real product and it's official from a specific supplier, rather than, let's say, counterfeit, right? Because obviously we've seen quite a bit of counterfeit kind of things going on in the world, and actually blockchain technology and VeChain specifically are helping to kind of combat against that.
Exactly. I mean, I said earlier about the blockchain. What is the role of the blockchain? It's about the data integrity, immutability, and security. And we're very proud that our partners are understanding the needs of the consumer, and when they're buying, for example, a product, how you can scan it, how you can be sure. So you mentioned about passive temperatures, for example. So blockchain, it's one anchor into the digitalization transformation, actually the transformation of our society. So how we measure the temperature, we're using IoT. IoT is a passive IoT temperature sensor, which is linked on the blockchain. And then if we manage also to connect it with AI, which is something we're running on pilot programs. So the holy trinity for me of the digital transformation is blockchain, IoT, and AI. And if you manage to bring your business into this spectrum, then you're becoming more trustworthy, more transparent, more efficient, but also engaging with the consumer in a way that is increasing also the sales, not just because of the product itself, but also because of the ecosystem created.
Absolutely. And so much going on, right? So much going on. I guess that leads into the next question. What excites you most about what is coming up?
Okay, I'm trying to think about which use case not to say without disclosing information. If I should stay more generic, I will say that I'm fascinated about the sustainable development goals that and the projects that are going to come through and we're going to see soon. And why I'm fascinated is because we see how the technology, how blockchain technology, IoT, AI will play a role in transforming our society, but also the way we are thinking. I can say for myself, I used to be one of the greatest polluters as a citizen. Since joining VeCHAIN, since working with DNV and seeing the project they are doing, for example, the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 project, I have becoming more sensitive to the environment. And that is because of my love to the technology, of my love to the work I'm doing. So I'm fascinated about these projects because I'm sure it will change also the way that other people also are thinking. That is number one, let's say, category of projects we're going to see. I'm fascinated about it. The other category that I'm fascinated about it, and we're going to see some projects coming out in Q1, and I know that because I am the product owner, so I can say that I'm more openly is about the phygitals. What is a phygital is connecting the NFT with a physical item, and there is the physical item, the original one. You can scan it, you can see information about it. The usual way you have seen it with VeCHAIN, with a lot of projects starting from Arcade back in 2017 with the beanie, then to my story with the H&M coastline, or with the shoes. I mean, we have many projects with Scan Me product, but now there's also the digital representation of the physical item onto the NFT version. So whoever is by the physical or whoever by the digital one is also eligible to have the other one the other way around. And that is important because it's becoming also more consumer engagement between the items and the products that they're buying. And then imagine now, and this is very futuristic talk, but buy your item, the physical item, and you have also NFT, and also bring it on the metaverse. So whatever behavior you're having with the item, it is also reflected in your avatar in the metaverse. Or you want to do something great for the community, something great for the environment. So you're donating money into the metaverse, let's say to plant a tree. Immediately, you need to plant also a tree into the physical world, into the real world. And then you take a picture and you prove it. And because also that picture will then have a hash. So you can connect those two. So you can see the interaction between the physical and the digital world. And this is the beauty of the NFTs, in my perception. It's not just for art. I understand the value there is the undeniable value. I don't want to discuss it because everybody has discussed about NFT, but I'm discussing about ecosystem of physical, digital, using the NFTs, IoTs, AI, and of course the blockchain technology.
The other question that I had was, can we talk about the China ban on crypto, right? You know, lots of stuff in the media, some misleading, some, you know, embellished maybe. But is this China ban on crypto just a myth? We see it time and time again. I've lost count of how many times they've banned crypto. But yeah, just a question, I guess, from the community.
Well, China has banned crypto, I don't know how many times. Yeah?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I am in the sphere since 2014, 15. I have seen, I don't know, I have counted around 11 banning from the Chinese government since then. But this time is for real. But it's important to make some clarifications about the banning. They have banned the mining, of course, yeah. So we are covered because there is no mining in VeChain ecosystem. It's a proof of authority protocol. Everything is pre-minted, so there is no mining. Actually, we're very proud. One more time, I want to say that we are one of the most friendly blockchain environments. Let me rephrase it. We're one of the most friendly to the environment blockchain, public blockchain, because there is no mining there. I think 100% more friendly than the Cardano network. So there is no mining involved, so we're covered there. But also, the most important, they ban the transactions made with crypto, financial transactions made with crypto. Why I'm saying this is because recently we have been sharing the floor in the Chinese International Import Expo, along with PwC, discussing about our technology, discussing about AirTrace, which is a solution for the supply chain built by PwC on top on VeChain using the toolchain. Yeah, it's important to say this because China has banned the crypto, yes, but is bullish about the blockchain adoption because the blockchain it has undeniable value to the society, to the consumer, to the environment. We have seen the Walmart case. Walmart China is creating hundreds of thousands of transactions per day into the VeChain network. So if China wanted to ban it, it will also stop Walmart China. It will stop PwC China from developing their solution. It will stop DNV in China from the creation of the VTrust. So we have solutions running on the VeChain blockchain that China is familiar with it, and they are not banning it. They have banned the crypto, and I can understand why. Based on the mentality that is in China, we need to understand China in the Chinese way and not in the European or the American way, because there is tremendous volatility in the market. So, and we're talking about one of the biggest population countries, right? They have one of the biggest populations in the world. So when I see, for example, the price of Bitcoin going from 69 to 55,000, imagine the distress and the stress of the people that they're having in China if they were invested in it. So China is taking a more conservative way to allow the blockchain technology to show its value. For example, knowing your product or circular economy and being friendly to the environment, rewarding use cases like the BYD case that we have in China about being more sensitive driver. So China is bullish about blockchain technology, and VeChain has a role there. I was reading an article today was saying about VeChain is one of the few that have survived the banning because our technology, our business is about the real use cases, and it's not about the volatility of the crypto. That's why I'm so bullish about VeChain, personally, and also as an employee.
Yeah, I mean, everybody that watches this channel knows that like VeChain is my biggest bag, my biggest investment in this space. So we're completely aligned on that for sure.
Absolutely. And we've covered quite a bit today, but is there anything else that you want to kind of leave the audience with that may not have been covered yet?
Well, I want to say a general advice to the audience because I started this journey into the blockchain before VeChain. As a crypto investor into different projects, what I want to say is like invest in technology, not into the crypto per se. If you the reason why I'm saying this is like people should be more bullish into the technology, be more creative. than investing into crypto and expecting the moon. Because it's like how to say, sometimes it's like a gambling industry. So before you invest somewhere, try to understand the business of the project, how related is the token to the use of the technology, and why not to contact me and try to find out how to build on toolchain than just to invest into crypto, because I'm fascinated about toolchain. I'm telling you, I'm creating demos every day, or almost every day, for sure every week, because I want to see a use case, and yeah.
Well, you know, Nick and myself, well, Nick already knows that I've reached out to VeCHAIN about a little project that we would like to run. So maybe we'll talk about that off air. But yeah, like for me, completely aligned to everything that you've just said there in the respect of, you know, we've been quite open about how we look to invest in projects. Ultimately, we look at the team, you know, make sure that the team is solid, the technology, the use case, and everything that you've just spoke about. It's all really, really important for the longevity of the project, right?
Exactly. The value, it comes from real use cases. This is what is the most important thing. Of course, there is a speculation. It's like the stocks. You invest into Tesla. You invest into Tesla because, of course, there is a speculation, but there is the underlying technology of Tesla. And of course, a very charismatic CEO that can make everything going to the moon or to Mars.
Exactly.
It's been fantastic to have you on the show to talk everything kind of, you know, VeCHAIN, Toolchain, and some of the things that, you know, we are looking forward to in the very near future. So obviously, as a few things kind of unfold, it would be fantastic to catch up with you again and to go through a bit more of what is going on with VeCHAIN, Toolchain, and some projects that maybe you know, have launched between now and then.
Absolutely, and I would like to thank you one more time for inviting me. And I'm looking forward also to have a discussion offline with you about your use of Toolchain. So yeah, thank you for having me on air, and looking forward for the next one.
So that was Dmitry from VeCHAIN. If you did find this interview useful, informative, maybe even entertaining at times, hit that like button. We really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe? Tap that bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.